All right.
One is in the shower.
I mean, when else are you supposed to do it?
All right.
I don't know.
If you're in the shower, then you're going to
On
be...
the toilet, but that is the bathroom still.
That still technically falls in the same category. You're still jamming out to music in the bathroom, so...
That's true.
It's a fortune cookie come true.
Hello, Zach.
But, welcome to episode 37 of Uncalled For, where every Monday night there's supposed to be 4 of us to get together, but rip Weston.
Yeah, he's
Let's
dead
just
still.
take the time to appreciate the fact that Weston is now dead. It's like, what, 4 out of 5 weeks he's been dead?
F's in the chat,
And I don't
please.
feel bad for him this week because he's enjoying himself in Chicago. So
Can you really enjoy yourself in Chicago, though? Let's be real. You're dodging bullets every 3 seconds in Chirac.
I don't think that's quite correct.
I mean, it's definitely not a great place to live, but you know, at least when I was
Chicago's very big as well.
yeah,
There
Would
are
you say
parts
it's
that are fun.
huge?
No,
Oh,
big.
but
it's not huge.
No, it's big.
you
Oh.
know, I wish I could have gone actually, but stupid work.
You know, I've never
been
gone
there
on
quite a
that
few
Chicago
times.
trip,
It's fun.
and
That's
I have
pretty
no
good.
desire to. I guess I don't know.
I'm just too old now.
Same.
Just didn't
I don't
the
have
week
the
off.
effort. I
That's what happens when you cross over 30, huh?
yeah, I guess. I'm not over. I'm right at.
Well, I mean, you technically are 30 in a few days, which means that you're over that 30.
That's still 30. It doesn't go up until it's the whole year, man.
But anyways, welcome to episode 37 of Uncalled For, where every single Monday night we get together and talk about random stuff, which I still don't have a topic.
And we don't have a fourth topic either.
We don't have a fourth. That's true. We don't have a fourth topic since Weston's gone. God, we are slacking
That's
this
all right.
week.
Hey, I got my topic.
Well, do you
I
want to
do
talk about it
actually,
then?
mine
We
too,
can.
so-
All right, yeah. So go ahead. We'll talk about yours.
So, last week on Tuesday or Wednesday?
It would have been. I think it was Wednesday.
Whatever, yeah. But the Obi-Wan series trailer dropped.
That was Wednesday because it was the same day.
Yeah,
I went
I think it was Wednesday.
Same day I went and saw Batman.
Yeah, the Obi-Wan trailer dropped, and I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm
Star
so
Wars has
excited.
been
Oh, you know
rocking
me.
it
I'm so
with
excited.
the TV series lately. So, I'm actually really excited. It looks cool. It looks a bit darker, a bit hopeless. I actually heard that Kathleen Kennedy changed quite a few things about it because she thought it was too dark and too hopeless.
Yeah, which
I
I
keep her
kinda-
as far away from Star Wars as can.
yeah, I kind of have some issues with that, but
But
I still think
I'm
it's gonna be
happy. I
good.
love that. I think that's some place that Star Wars doesn't usually go,
Mhm.
and I think it's some place that it should go.
yeah.
And
Well, you can't do this time period for Obi-Wan and not make it dark. Like, this is the time where he is hopeless. Like, he is broken and beaten down, and, you know, right now, he's got nothing. The only thing he's doing is looking after Luke.
So Luke was how old in that trailer?
So,
I mean,
this is
he
10
looked
this is
like he
10
was
years-
about.
This is 10 years after
Okay, so
Return.
he's 10.
So he's
10 or 11.
I was gonna say he looked like
Yeah.
he was like maybe
He's-
7 or
he's
8,
young.
but
He's young.
if it's 10, that makes
Yeah.
sense. So, yeah, I had to laugh when I saw the trailer. Obi-Wan had the high ground when he was
Did?
when he was watching Luke. It's over, Luke. I have the high ground.
I saw this is a little bit off topic, but I saw it was like a Lego like little animated thing, and it was Anakin saying, "Obi-Wan, why are you so obsessed with Mandalorians?" And he's like, "They have jetpacks." And then it cuts back to Anakin. He's like, "Why would that matter?" He's like, "Portable high ground," and then he flies.
He's not wrong.
High ground.
But
It's
no,
like the robot chicken.
yeah.
I have the high ground. High ground.
But no, I'm really excited for it. Obviously, you guys know me. If you've been around here for any length of time, I'm a huge Star Wars fan,
Are you?
and so,
I don't
and
believe so.
especially prequel
I
era.
don't think so.
And Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, and so
I think that's one of the best like actors for a role ever.
I
Like
he's
going
really
back, if
good
you go
actor.
back and rewatch that, I can't imagine any other actor ever playing Obi-Wan.
No, he's honestly a really good
Like
actor.
he is the perfect person for that role.
Oh, you did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
It's like Will Ferrell in Elf. Like no one else could pull that off.
yeah. But
We'll
yeah,
never know because they were that character.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But it's
You did a
actually
good job.
it's actually funny you say that because I remember watching some like behind the scenes stuff of like them casting the young Obi-Wan
Mm-hmm.
for Phantom Menace. And one of the things they did was like kind of look at faces and try to get similar features, and they did like kind of comp over the face and like so they could see like over the top of each other.
Oh, for
and there's
Alec
like
Guinness.
and Alec Guinness and
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor. And like there's a point in everybody's face, it's like the triangle they call it, to like it's kind of like the defining features of your face that like really shape your face. And it's like your nose area. And it like his literally lines up almost perfectly to Alec Guinness's. So it's like it was pretty cool to see that.
So it makes sense that he
Yeah.
would age
And I
look
love
like
how much Carey put into like, okay, I'm not just playing Obi-Wan, right? I'm also trying to portray this younger Alec Guinness, and he really tried to like do that a lot with the prequel movies.
Hello
That's
there.
cool. So
Hello there.
that. I mean, Alec Guinness did say that.
he did.
Hello there.
Yep.
It's the same thing. He just brought it back, man.
Yep. So
10 out of 10.
But no, I'm super excited for this show. I'm really excited to see Inquisitors in live action. I think that's really sick. And they got what's his name from Fast and the Furious?
Dom?
No.
King?
Yeah, the guy from Tokyo Drift. I like him a lot. So
Han?
seeing him, Han,
Yeah.
seeing him as
Solo?
No.
that is kind of funny though. He was Han and
And he died and came back.
he did die. Did he really die though?
He died.
But
No,
yeah,
they decided they wanted more movies.
yeah, that's true. But no, I'm excited to see Darth Vader again. I know they also obviously Hayden Christensen's back. They've confirmed that.
Heck
and
yeah.
that's gonna be sick.
So
Better
excited.
be James Earl Jones' voice.
I'm so excited.
No, I do hope so. I
It
think
better
so.
be.
I mean,
Like, when he takes off his mask or whatever, sure, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
But
if not though, they have had some pretty solid Vader voices over the years that sound just like him.
Yeah.
But if they can, at least I'd like for them to get James Earl Jones.
Well, I think we all would.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with that because obviously, if you're going to bring Hayden Christensen back, then he's going to have to be in some capacity. So I'm imagining it's a lot of flashback roles,
probably.
just because it's going to be hard to show Anakin without, because you can't really take the mask off a ton and stuff.
Yep.
Still can, though.
Yeah, he can, but it's like it has to be in like back to tanks or like his special pods, and he can be out for a little bit if he draws on the power of the Force, but it's not for long at all. So
It wouldn't make sense for the show,
yeah,
really. Because it's not really Vader,
yeah. So
But we'll see. I'm excited. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to find out where they go with it, what they're going to bring into it. Because
Yeah.
they're going to throw some crap in it. It's going to be crazy.
yeah,
I mean, outside of the stuff they already know is going to happen,
Well, just in the trailer, they show they're still doing the whole execute Order 66. Like, they're still hunting down Jedi.
yeah. That's the whole
the
Inquisitor.
whole
Like,
Inquisitor's
even-
purpose,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, even in this trailer, though, like, 10 years later, they're
Why
still
you hunt.
showing that and still doing it, which I think is going to be super cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to be able
Yeah,
to
that
see a
doesn't
lot
stop.
more.
I love how ruthless they are in the trailer. They're like, Jedi can't help themselves, so we're just gonna like torture people and kill him, and just he's gonna eventually have to come out because it's in his nature to help people.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's
as
cool.
Obi-Wan's like they're almost like watching this happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
the trailer looks so cool, man.
does.
I watched it a couple times,
Yeah, I
and
did too.
it's funny. You go back, like you see it the first time, like, okay, this is super cool. Then you watch it again, you're like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh yeah, now that makes sense at the end of the trailer, like why that's there at the beginning. And it's, I don't know, you watch it a few times, you learn a few more things about it,
I think
and
the best
you
part of the
figure it
trailer,
out.
Duel of the Fates.
the Duel of the Fates kicks in when it.
Yes.
They did
I
that.
was-
They threw that in there just to hype people up.
Oh yeah, and that's
Well,
one of the best songs from any
Awesome.
good,
movie
yeah.
ever.
I do think it was a big part to hype people up, but I also think it could have some story beats with it too, because the whole
I
point
mean,
of Duel
they'll
of
go
Fates.
back to it a little bit.
Well,
but
I think the reason I say that is because the Duel of Fates was obviously it's the song for the final battle of the first movie,
Darth
and
Maul
it's
battle.
the Darth Maul battle. But it's also called Duel of Fates because it's literally a duel of Anakin's fate. Because if Qui-Gon would have lived, then it would have been different. And how it ended up is what kind of started the path to him to become Darth Vader or whatever. And so I really think they might do a kind of second Duel of Fates in a way for Luke. And I think that might be what the rematch is, like Obi-Wan versus Vader. And if Vader were to win, he would find out who Luke is earlier, and kind of that idea. That's just a theory, obviously, but I think that could legit happen, because obviously they're going to fight again. But having that importance to it, like maybe if he would have won that fight, because obviously we know what happens in the original trilogy. If he would have won that fight, maybe he would have found out Luke was his son and then took him or something like that.
So, something though that's gonna need to almost be addressed in the show is in 4 when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fight. When Vader goes, "When I left you, I was a learner. Now I'm the master." That line of dialogue, if they fight again and he leaves him after a fight, would not make any sense anymore.
There actually is some interesting dialogue in the original trilogy that implies they could have met again. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is some lines and there's some dialogue from Obi-Wan specifically that kind of hints that there might have been another encounter. And that line in general doesn't just discredit there being another encounter. Like they could have still fought again.
But then when he wanted to left him as a learner, if that was the case, I feel like there's not really a way that you could do that without making that line seem weird.
I think
it depends on, I don't know, his own perspective of himself, where he's at and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think it could work. It'd be fine. But it'd be interesting. Aren't there comics out there now, canon comics, where they meet again?
Oh, that's what Zach says in chat here, too.
There might be.
I'm pretty sure there are.
Yeah. I want to say I've seen something.
Oh, I just...
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
But no, they do kind of hint at the idea that there could potentially... It leaves it open, at least. It doesn't confirm there was another one, but it definitely leaves it more open with some of the other dialogue in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Maul will be in this series, Zach. I think Maul was originally supposed to be the villain of this series.
Yeah.
But they switched it out for Darth Vader.
Which I like because I thought
why not both?
I thought his end in Rebels
It might be too much.
And honestly, I think his arc in Rebels with Obi-Wan, it was a really good ending for that character.
Yeah.
And that fight with him and Obi-Wan for the last time was beautiful. Like, if you haven't seen it, it's just so well done, and so, like, it really is a love letter to Phantom Menace in a lot of ways, because it's a very, very quick fight. It's like maybe a few frames long, right? Like, it's a few seconds, but it's Maul goes to do the exact same move that he did on Qui-Gon, because Obi-Wan starts off in Qui-Gon's pose, his like stance. So then Maul goes, okay, well, I'll just do what I did last time with this stance and this fighting style. But then Obi-Wan switches to, he goes to his Clone Wars, like the two fingers behind the back type
his
thing.
Own style.
But then he realizes that's not me anymore, and he changes to the Alec Guinness pose. And then after that, Maul charges him and basically goes for the headbutt that he does to Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan just cuts him down the middle with the lightsaber and cuts him and kills him. And then, like, he holds him in his arms, and he's like, Maul realizes in the final moments that, like, this is something he's protecting. Like, this is important. And so he's like, is this the one that will avenge us? And he's like, basically, yeah, this is the new hope. Like, this is the last hope the galaxy has, is who I'm protecting. It's a really, really beautiful scene. So I really think that would take away from that if they added him into the show, because
it just wouldn't make sense.
No, it wouldn't. And I think they have plenty to do in the show anyway that they don't need to meet.
I want them to bring back Jar Jar.
No, you don't.
I want Jar Jar on the show.
I do. I am curious what happened to him after.
They never say what happened to Jar Jar.
There's a Sith Lord.
See, I would love that. Darth Banks, man. Like, let's freaking go. But I want to know what happens. I want to hear him say, "Misa, find your lack of faith disturbing," as he like charges after somebody.
No, that is actually a good. Like, that's generally something that I don't think about.
Well, he was a counselor after that, right? So I imagine he's dead now.
Might be.
I would still love just even a flashback of even his voice, just to be like, "Yep, we still love him." Honestly,
it'd be funny if they showed him dying. They just showed like all the sinners getting wiped out or whatever, and people just would be in love with that because they hate him so much. I really want Qui-Gon to come back, because
like a Force ghost. Or?
Yeah, because
I thought he didn't learn that ability.
No, he
Like-
was the
No, he
first
did,
one. He taught Yoda how to go into the Force, and he taught in turn Obi-Wan as well. Like one of the things that this, that 20 or 18 or so years that he was on Tatooine looking after Luke was he was training in the Force and was hearing from Qui-Gon to learn the ability to go into the Force after death. And so that's why he was like in that fight with Darth Vader in A New Hope. He's just like, I'm done, like, because my purpose in this body in this form is just over. Like, I've served my purpose, and me dying here is gonna it's kind of turns Luke on and like puts him onto the right path.
I could see them throwing in Liam Neeson secretly.
He
That'd be
becomes more
sick.
powerful
I could see
than you
it.
could possibly
And
imagine.
it makes sense because this is the time where he's communing with Qui-Gon and learning how to do that. Qui-Gon's a sick Jedi. Like, he's not in it a ton because obviously he's only in episode 1 and he dies. But the lore around Qui-Gon, and he is a great Jedi. And the way he viewed a lot of things was very different than the Council did, and so he really butted heads with them a lot. But he's a really sick Jedi, and I do like Liam Neeson a lot. So
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with him,
When you
too.
think of Grey Jedi, that's kind of who you think of.
yeah,
And that's totally different than the normal Jedi Order,
yep,
which is good because the normal Jedi Order is pretty dumb.
yeah. They made a lot of mistakes. They really did. I mean, that's a big reason they fell.
But yeah, I'm really interested. Like I said, they always throw something in. They always give the fans what they want, don't
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So
Yep.
I'm wondering how they're going to tie in. Bet they're going to tie in a bunch of Rebel stuff.
Yeah, they
What-
have to. With
they have
all
to.
the Inquisitors, because that's where they came from.
Maybe Fallen Order stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too.
Because I mean, this would kind of be the time. Is this the same time frame? Like, I'm wondering how
No, I
far
think
away Cal Kestis is.
I think that's sooner. I don't think it's. I think that's actually I don't know
Is it sooner?
because Cal was pretty young when it happened because in the game he's like a kid and
Mm-hmm.
Order 66 happens and now he's more of a
You should play that game. Jordan. It's
teenager.
really good.
I
it
haven't.
might be around the same period.
It's
I
really
can't remember off the top of my head what they said.
When Order
like-
66 happens, he's like a young Padawan. He's
Yeah.
young.
Yeah,
Like, he doesn't have his lightsaber yet, right?
yeah. Well,
He's still learning like force jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
So
actually, I think it's gonna happen. It depends on what we see from some of the other Inquisitors, because that'll help kind of put the time period together. Because if we see, is it the fifth sister or one of the ones that dies in the game Jedi Fallen Order?
who was the former Jedi? That
Yeah.
one.
Well, her and I thought don't
Or-
you kill the bigger one like the,
Yeah, she's the former Jedi.
yeah, okay.
The main Inquisitor. Is
Yeah,
it first
you
sister
kill
or whatever.
her. Yeah.
Well, you don't kill her.
I'm,
She was
So-
what's her face's Padawan.
okay, yeah. No, I'm talking about the
The big
kinda
yellow
Hulker,
chick.
Yeah.
You kill her.
Yeah.
She was a actual Jedi.
yeah,
a former
yeah.
Jedi.
So if they show her like in the trailer, then it'd be before, obviously, because you kill
Yeah.
her in that. But I think it is. I want to say it's around the same. It might be a little bit before though. I think.
I'm wondering if Cal Kestis' era of Inquisitors is like the first or the second
Yeah. But
section. You know.
there's already a lot of beats to like the game that kind of line up, like the whole, finding the Inquisitors hunting the Jedi down, like that scene of like, we're just gonna torture people until we find them. It's kind of very similar to the opening beats of
Yeah.
the game.
I'm assuming that's just kind of their MO. You know.
And I can honestly
But-
see them kind of going into that, what they set up at the end of the game, where like, Cal's obviously looking for, he's wanting to try to build the Jedi Order up again, or like figure it out.
For the other force sensitives.
And so he could go look for Obi-Wan, and then maybe Cal could show
well,
up.
that would make sense for lots of stuff because
yeah,
everyone's kind of looking for the index of all the force sensitives.
yeah,
He has it at that point, right?
yeah.
Or
I think
it's
he
not
ends off-
destroyed, right?
No, he ends off the game with it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, Vader's looking for that, especially in comics wise,
Mhm.
and that the whole stuff that goes down with Dr. Aphra and all that.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose is him looking for that.
Yep.
So I wonder if we're gonna get some of that.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I like Cal Kestis.
Cal
actually a lot.
Kestis is a sick character.
He's dope. I
Yeah.
love how they do the like PTSD of Order 66 and him overcoming that and becoming a really.
That's a good.
And I love how that whole final battle is amazing because it's not like,
Don't spoil it since someone
Okay.
hasn't played it.
yeah,
But
It's downloaded. It's on my computer.
honestly,
ready to go.
I think you'd like it. It's
I think
a
you
really
would
good
too.
game.
But without saying who or what the final battle's about, it's just like it's really cool. Like it's not, oh look, I'm at the end of the game, so I'm the super powerful character now, right? Like it's.
Oh
not,
no,
it's not
it
that
shows
fight.
how you're not.
Yeah, it shows like
Shows how you're
he's
still a little
he's
fish.
still weak.
Oh, that doesn't look good. It's not.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that game's beautiful, and they're probably gonna tie in. I definitely could see it, especially because the guy who does the like
He's a real actor. Looks exactly like him.
he's a real
They
actor.
based
Looks
it
exact.
off
They
of
based it
him.
off of him, and
He
in
did the Joker in Gotham, right?
Yeah,
It's that same guy.
and he's done TV shows. He's in a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, so it's very very plausible. That
Get with it, coach. Let's go.
It's always a bigger fish.
But
It's true.
No,
This just happens to be the biggest fish.
yeah, but now that'd be sick. I would really be down for that. Because I want to see more of Cal Kestis. Are we getting Fallen Order 2?
Yes.
I thought they
Yep.
confirmed that.
Yeah, they did.
confirmed 2, so
So sick.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Me too.
Wait, they confirmed number 2 or they confirmed 2 more?
No, number 2.
Okay.
Fallen Order 2.
That's what I thought you meant, but
Yep.
you're just like they confirmed 2, and I'm like, okay, so did they confirm
The
2
number
more
2.
or okay?
So
Got you.
Yep.
I wanted to clarify.
In the video game, not a deuce.
Got you.
Yes. But I'm pretty excited. I want to see how they tie in other medias like they have been with the other shows. So
yeah, me too.
I still
that's
need
what
to.
I love. So
You guys would be proud of me though. I've watched the first 3 episodes of Mandalorian now.
that's what I
There you
hear.
go.
Keep going,
And,
dude.
Keep going.
Got to go through that.
So what are you thinking so far?
It's
Just
pretty
quick
good.
thoughts.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good. I liked it. I don't know. There's a few things where I'm just like that just seems weird to me. I guess,
I'm
but
trying to even remember back to what the first 3 episodes are.
It's really space westerny. The first.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is very,
And
And
I love
I
that.
do
It's so
too.
good.
like it's good, but it just seems. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain about it. It's a good story so far, but it doesn't seem like your stereotypical Star Wars like I was expecting.
It's
No, it's
not.
really not. It's really not.
It's
and
not.
that's throwing me off a little bit.
And that's what I love about it so much. Like,
Yeah,
doing something a little different.
It's pretty cool.
I saw a
like that.
video where there's some girl she was talking. She's like, my roommates and I decided
It's all
to
good,
finally
Coach.
watch The Mandalorian. And she goes, we had English subtitles on. And she goes, I just figured they were speaking some weird language, like alien language or something. She goes, we watched the first 2.5 episodes before we finally realized we had it in I think it was like,
Subtitles are different.
no, like the subtitles were English, but they had it like in Indonesian or something like that. It's like the language on their video player got switched. And so they were,
How does that happen?
I don't know, but they watched 2.5 episodes with nothing but subtitles, thinking they were all speaking some weird alien language from Star Wars
Okay.
before they finally
Good job.
realized their mistake.
Galactic Basic is basically English.
Yeah. The
So,
commonplace language.
Yeah. The alphabet's completely different, but it's how you say
The way you
things
talk is the same. Yeah.
Not that, everyone has universal translators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
also true. So,
For the
been
most
20
part.
minutes now on this.
Yeah,
You guys
Dad, we can move on. if you
want to
want.
move on? All right.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Logan,
excited.
I don't have a topic yet, so you can still go ahead.
So yeah, kind of on the same vein of trailers, I guess. The new Sonic Movie 2 trailer came out today, which kind of got me thinking. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about that trailer in general,
I haven't seen the first movie yet.
but
Yeah, I've seen little parts of it, but
just kind of my big question is like, what are you guys' thoughts on video game movies, and like what video games do you think would kind of lend themselves well to movies? Because it's a very hit or miss category, and I think there's only been a few that have done it right, and the couple that I can think of top of my head are Sonic the first one, and then Detective Pikachu.
Dude, Detective Pikachu is so good.
Yeah, but like there's so many bad ones too. Like
I love it.
you have obviously the infamous Super Mario Bros. Movie.
what? That movie is great.
It's really funny just to look back how bad it was.
Like with Zemo.
But
Luigi.
You know, Coach, hold on. Coach in chat says, I'm surprised you let him in your house with an Iowa State shirt on.
Wrap it up, boy.
Trust me, I would rather he doesn't wear that
Oh,
trash.
it's wonderful. I love it. I love it.
That's where he went to school.
My alma mater,
He went
he
there.
is.
Okay, anyways. We can
where
move
people
on.
are nice and not dicks like Iowa fans.
I'm nice.
Tell me I'm wrong about that.
I'm nice. Right?
But
Yeah, so
sometimes.
getting back on track
Not
here.
every fan, just most of them. The vast majority.
That's true.
But not me.
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so obviously, like I said, they're very hit or miss, and there's a lot more bad ones than there are good ones. So, what kind of video games do we see today that would lend themselves well?
So I still haven't seen the Uncharted movie, but I want to.
I haven't either, but I've heard it's very mediocre.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Just by looking at the trailer, I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of trash.
I don't know.
I want to see it just because
I've heard good things,
I
but
like Tom Holland. I like
I do
Uncharted.
like Tom Holland. I like Mark
But I
Wahlberg.
think it'll be a fun movie.
yeah,
I don't think it'll be good.
Mhm.
Okay,
I've heard
so-
the biggest deal is the casting. Like, obviously, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland are great actors, but it's kind of just it's too young of a role for both of them.
yeah.
Like,
A little
Nathan
bit.
Drake is
Yeah.
is a good bit older, and then Sully's even older than that. So it's like
Yeah, I think that Mark Wahlberg should have been Nathan Drake.
That would've made
that
more
was
sense.
actually the rumor at first.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be because Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg talked about it, and
I think it
he
should
said
be
that he
Nathan
was
Fillion.
supposed to be Nathan Drake.
Don't
But then
think
the
Fillion's
movie-
too old now.
The movie was delayed by the production was delayed by so long that they pushed him back to Sully, and then they had to recast Nathan Drake.
I think Nathan Fillion would be sick because he did that.
Back in the day, it would have.
He did that fan movie, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, that's awesome.
Well, that's like, I don't want to say the character was based off him, but like, kind of the character's based off him because it's
Yeah.
just kind of his personality and everything.
yeah.
I mean, just the looks and stuff. I don't think the character was actually based off him by any means, but like, it's cool, and he's a cool dude. I love Nathan Fillion, but
Yeah.
I think they're going to make more, obviously, and that kind of plays into Tom Holland is an up and coming actor who's younger who can grow up into the role too.
Yeah,
So that works. Mark Wahlberg is he
Wahlberg.
50 now?
Is he
I don't
really?
know.
No way.
Late 40s probably. I think he's getting
How
up
old
there.
is Mark Wahlberg?
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
He's 50.
Yep.
That's crazy.
He's getting out there. So
Will Ferrell's 54. It's telling me here.
I don't think it. I think it was a better
nuts.
idea for everyone around if they switched it up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Video game movies, like it's a hit and miss. Lots of misses. Potential, so much potential. I think that is what I would describe video game movies or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thought. of
Okay,
video
so
movies.
at what point though do we separate, movies versus like series? 'Cause I know The Witcher is based off of a book, but
I
like
think-
The Witcher with what they did there, they nailed it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they did
no,
really
I,
good.
So-
I put that into a good category.
But that's also not a
It's
video
different.
game movie. That's a book TV
Yeah, but
show.
it's
do
also-
more. You can do more. All right, you can do less because you don't have the budget,
Yeah.
but you can do more because you have more time to storytell.
yeah.
in
And isn't it-
series.
Well, plus there's a lot more too with the books and
Yeah,
then the
well,
video
isn't
games
the-
and all
didn't
that.
the books
So
come
they-
first?
Yes.
And then the games?
Yeah, and that's what I'm
And
saying.
games
It's
are based off the books.
Yeah, and the
taken with their own
show's more
liberties.
based off the games, right?
Off
the-
Or
no, it's
oh,
based off
the
books.
books.
I meant. Books
Yeah.
It's more based off
because
the
it's
books.
more
but
younger, and then like the games aren't they further
it's not
on?
more. No, like it's
I haven't read the book,
it
so
takes
Yeah, I
the
haven't
same
either.
storyline, story timeline for the most part. Like it all starts in the same place.
Gotcha. Because
Um,
I guess I thought the games were a little bit later in the timeline.
Like,
Like,
well,
not
it
by a
depends on
ton,
what
but,
game.
like-
A little bit. The first game is around the same time frame as it's a little bit later, but
Gotcha.
and the books are all over the place, just like you kind of saw in the first season.
Yeah. I was
And you're like, oh,
skipping around.
this episode, Geralt is like here, but then this episode's like 100 years later,
Yeah.
and you don't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
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 Really, you have to kind of piece that together, which I liked.
I still need to actually see season 2. I
do
haven't.
too. I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
It's I don't think it's quite as good as the first season,
Yeah.
but it is good.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
good. It's definitely worth watching.
The only reason why I haven't watched season 2 yet is because the guy I got it from didn't get me season 1. I want to go back and watch season 1 first to kind of refresh my memory, and then I'll jump into season
It's
2.
on
So
Netflix.
I don't
So
have
dude,
Netflix though.
You should, dude.
I canceled
Just
it.
for that, but yeah. So I think series are totally different.
Mhm.
They have the ability to do different things different ways. You know.
Yeah.
Movies, you have a certain time slot,
Yeah.
so it's
Well, yeah,
so
'cause-
much harder.
With a TV show, you can go, let's say, even 30-minute episodes, but if you have 8 episodes in a season, that's 4 hours,
Yeah.
which there's no movie that.
And, yeah, most of them are like 50 minutes long anyway.
Yeah,
and
that-
if you get like a 12-episode season,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot more.
yeah, and
You know,
need
versus
that.
versus
That's
an hour
why-
and a half, 2 hours for a movie, or 2.5 hours on
Yeah.
the long end.
Yeah.
You get
That's
10
why
to 12.
series usually generally, I should say, work out way better than movies for video games.
Yeah.
Because they have the time to dive in deep,
Yeah.
to develop character and story, which a lot of movies, they just don't have the freaking time to do it.
I almost think that video game movies and TV shows fall under the same kind of criticism, I guess you could say, is like the care for the series. I think, you look at Detective Pikachu and Sonic, right? Like the whole reason I think those movies are great was because they respected the lore and they respected.
Is it a money grab?
What they came from.
Do they care about the content?
Do they care what and like?
Well, you saw that with Sonic when that travesty that was the original form
Yeah,
of
but
Sonic.
then they listened
But
to
they
the fans.
actually listened to fans, which you don't see ever.
No.
Okay, now here's the thing. Did they actually listen to the fans because they cared what the fans thought, like genuinely?
I
or
think so.
or did they actually
I
listen
think
to
there's
the
some
fans?
of that. I think there's
Well,
lots of
hold on.
money, though, too.
I would say, hold on. Or did they actually listen to the fans because at that point they realized so many people would not go see it because of how terrible it looked and they'd lose a ton of money?
No, I think they generally.
I think they redid it more because they knew how much money they'd lose overall if they didn't redo him.
I think they did. They took so much care when in the redo, though, and making sure
Yeah.
it was good, that it showed that they actually cared about stuff, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course it's about money, but
Yeah.
but I think
I'm saying
Who
I think it
did
has more to
Sonic,
do
to be
about
honest?
money than it does
What
with anything
company was
else.
Is it Sony?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Sony.
I think it
If
was
it is
Sony.
Sony generally takes care with some of
Yeah.
their stuff, but
I
But
think
like
it was.
just looking at the second one, right? Like the care
generally
the care they're putting into this second film, like it is
not the
a
Marvel side,
lot of the imagery and a lot of the stuff is even more Sonic than the first one was. Like Sonic 1 was very good, but it was a lot more toned down. Like it was just kind of Sonic's in the real world. But this one, like you're seeing Robotnik, right? Like as in the games, and like you're seeing his awesome
Sure.
robots and this giant mech. With like his face and stuff, just ripped right out of the games, and then you get, of course, in this one, Tails and Knuckles, and just a lot more crazier Sonic stuff.
Yeah.
Which and the attention to detail and things is sick. Like I love the new poster they just put out today is a like reimagining of the box
Sonic
art
2.
for Sonic 2, the
Yeah.
game. And so I think video game movies and TV shows kind of fall in that same thing. Is like it's either good or bad, and it's depending on whether or not they care about what they're adapting. And I think one thing I look at for like show wise I'm kind of concerned about is Halo.
Mhm.
I'm kind of
Well, that's what
concerned
I
about
was
that
saying
show.
because you can't just do a carbon copy of the game because people have played the game, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They love it for that reasons, but you
Mhm.
have to take your liberties.
Yep.
Just like with the Marvel movies from
Yeah.
comics and all that stuff, it has to be a bit different to add something to it. It can't just be a remake of a video.
Yeah. See, and Zach kind of touched on this too, and this is a point I was going to bring up. I think it's a lot easier for some games to get a good movie or a good story than others. Because, I mean, obviously, a story-based game like The Last of Us or Uncharted, like it's going to be a lot easier to get a good story-based movie or show versus a game like Elder Scrolls where there's like a bajillion different ways you can take this. Like it branches off 50,000 ways.
That's
Yeah.
where
And
liberties
so-
would come in.
And so your experience with it is obviously going to be a lot different than my experience. And if I liked it because of mine, and then in my head, it's like, oh, this was my experience with it. But then the movie's a completely different thing.
That's why you
It's
wouldn't
gonna
do
screw
like
it
a
up.
role playing thing like
Well,
that.
and
because
that's-
you literally create your story.
Yeah,
at
and that's
that
why I'm
point.
saying, like, with a lot of different things, because
So they would
he
have to-
asked, like, what movies or what games
Sure.
would be good movies, So obviously it's going to be more of a story-based thing, kind of like Uncharted and The Last of Us and,
Yeah, see, but that's the thing.
even
On-
a lot of the other Sony games. Like, I
Yeah.
could see Horizon Zero Dawn being
Be fantastic.
being a good movie because it's a linear story, like, where there's
That's
not
a lot though.
well, no, there is, but there's not as many branches as like
Sure,
other
yeah.
games where you have this ending, this ending, this ending, this ending, or this ending, depending on what decision you made in like 2 hours into the game.
Yeah, see, I'd argue the other side though because I think then just play the game because that's what I've heard. The big criticisms from the Uncharted movies so far is just like, yeah, it's decent, but like the game does everything so much better, and we're at a point now in video games where like cinematics and visuals like are very very good, and so you can get the same feeling out of emotional feeling out of the games that you could in a movie, and you get more interaction and you get more time and all of that stuff in a game, that like that's one of the big criticisms like I said I've heard in Uncharted is like it's okay, but like a lot of the things they do is just like taken from the game, and it's just like play the game because it's better. So I could also see the other side of that coin, but I don't know. I think it's very tricky, right? Like I would agree though that like the whole turning RPGs and like these more open.
I think the lore, the
games.
Story is the lore.
Yeah,
Zach.
like I think a good example of that actually is World of Warcraft. Didn't that kind of bomb? That movie?
Which one?
The movie?
Oh, the Warcraft. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good. It was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
and that's most likely because of that
No.
reason, right? Like it's not meant to be this.
You can't hit the check mark for everyone. You just gotta
Yeah,
try to do your best for
Yeah.
whatever you think your biggest audience is. So yeah, some people like gameplay, some people like story.
mm-hmm.
I haven't seen many people. I don't think your audience is huge of people who don't care about a story but like the gameplay of a story game. I don't think that's usually a
Yeah.
big audience. I wouldn't worry about it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
What people care about, especially in like movie media and cinema and stuff, is story and character and development and all that stuff. Like, you know what makes a good movie, right?
Yeah,
So they're gonna find something that in a different media like video games that really grabs people, that people gravitate towards, you know, which is the same stuff, and just take that and bring it over and mess around with it, you know.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what you are going for.
Yeah.
What do people love in video games story wise, that element, and then what can we do with it in the movie element that, you know, gives them what they want to an extent, but we can also hit other new people.
Yeah,
But I don't know, like it's tough to do. It's really tough.
It is.
Like I said, that 1.5 to 3 hour time slot, especially for a video game that takes 40 to 60 hours usually.
Depending on the game. I mean,
Yeah.
because
Like-
Uncharted, you could probably finish those games.
Oh,
you
could
know,
do that
in
in
like
20 maybe.
I'd even say like, you know, if you play it on a
15.
normal difficulty,
Sure.
maybe 8. You know, like 8 to 10 hours. Because when the Uncharted collection came out with Uncharted
don't care
1,
about
2, and
Hollywood.
3, when that came out on PS4, I ended up getting the platinum trophy in all 3 of those within a week.
yeah,
And I mean, that was just me playing it on stream, you know, so that'd be,
Sure.
you know, 6 hours a night for 6 days. So, I mean, you got 30 to 40 hours probably
yeah,
to do everything in those 3 games.
yeah,
But even that's 10 hours a game, which is obviously a lot more than a 2.5 hour long movie, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't think Hollywood validates anything,
no,
Zach.
Hollywood sucks.
Like, that mentality, I don't even think that's a mentality for anyone who loves the video games or anything. But who doesn't want to see one of your favorite video games like brought to the big screen?
yeah. Like
Like,
Detective
that's
Pikachu
awesome.
was huge for me. Like I
Dude,
love that
I
movie.
I thought the
love
game
that
in general
movie,
was, or the movie in general was mediocre. It was fun to watch, but like just, all right. League of Legends just came out with a series, Arcane.
Great.
How freaking amazing was that?
Mm-hmm.
To take something that it's such a huge game worldwide right now that doesn't really have anything to do with story mode and brought that story to like a really well done, funded adult or animated series that just knocked everything out of the park. Like, that's what people want. People have wanted that. I've wanted that personally for so long.
Yeah,
And they finally did it, and what happened? Like,
it was awesome.
it was killer. It was amazing, and they're already working on season 2, and they're gonna
Yep.
keep going with it, and it's making money for those people too.
Yeah,
Like, that's what you want.
yeah,
Who doesn't want to see their favorite character from a video game with a little bit more added on the big screen? You can go to the movie and watch it. Like, I would love to
Yep.
see that stuff. That's so cool.
Yeah.
yep. That's like, I mean, that's a big reason I love the Detective Pikachu movie.
Right?
And like
Whether
Sonic.
you think that's validation or
Yeah.
not, I don't know. It's just,
Uh-huh.
I love that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Like Sonic is, I love the Sonic games. I grew up on them. Ironically enough, Sonic 06 was the first game I ever played, which
You know
is
what's
not
funny
a
is
good one. Do
I've
not play it.
never played a Sonic game.
I'm not a
They're-
Sonic fan, so I don't play those games either.
I
I like
never had a
Sonic.
Sega growing up.
I
and
mean, it's
just
not
never-
like it's not my favorite, but it's definitely like
It's just
probably
an
top
iconic
10 franchises
IP.
for me.
Yeah,
But
it's what it is, you know.
it's really cool to see this character on the big screen and like see the respect they give him too. Like obviously they messed up right at the beginning, but they fixed it, and in this new one they're even going even more into
Zach
like
says that's a PR stunt,
the
conspiracy
lore
theory.
and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, right? Like
That'd be funny.
I could actually see that.
I love how the second trailer starts off with Sonic's and Tails are like running away from Robotnik, and the main character, what's his name, James Marsden,
Yeah.
right? He's like sitting at a wedding, and Sonic calls him, and his ringtone is Green Hill Zone, the original Green Hill Zone, and you hear da 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 da, and the lady's like getting married. She's like, "What's going on?" Or like, turn the phone off, and I'm like, that's just cool, right? Like, I love when they do little
little
music
throwbacks.
beats and all these little Easter egg things. Like, I remember the first one they played when Sonic was still in like Sonic World. I don't know if they gave it a name, but like he was running through Green Hill Zone, and they played Sonic Mania music, which is awesome because if you know the story of that game, like it was a fan made game basically. Like it was Christian Whitehead who done some like iPhone or just phone like creations of Sonic games like Sonic 1, 2, and all of these games, and Sega like commissioned to make them. Well, then he made a few like ROM hacks, and he did a few like tweaks to some of the older games that had issues, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna make a new Sonic game. Let's get him on board because he knows this, and so he made Sonic Mania, which is like definitively Sonic 4 in a lot of people's minds, which it is because the actual Sonic 4
Which
was
one
trash.
did Michael Jackson make the music on?
Sonic 3. That's why that one's super hard to come out on. Yeah, because that's a whole lot of legal trouble. So that's why, like, in collections and stuff, like for Sega, you hardly see that one, which sucks because I think that's the best one. Sonic 3.
Well, he
Knuckles.
didn't even ask for like any royalties or anything, did he?
No, but it's just
Yeah,
like
he wanted his like.
well, see,
all
that's
of
the
his,
thing. It's
well,
actually
you've seen that. Was it the game trailers mystery one about that, right?
yeah. What's actually like kind of interesting because there's
It's really
also
cool.
a lot of like, isn't there like a lot of things like where it's like he didn't like the reason why it's so hard to come out because
He couldn't
didn't
do what he wanted,
yeah, and so like he didn't want to be
so
a
he
part
didn't
of it.
want anything going back to his name because that's not something that he.
Yeah.
Someone who truly cares about what they create, Michael
Yep.
Jackson, but he didn't want any credit because that's not how he wanted that to create.
Which is crazy because that soundtrack is awesome. That's one thing Sonic does really well is the soundtracks are really bopping. Like they're good.
See, my only experience with Sonic would be playing Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games back on the Wii. That was like that was my first experience with anything to do with Sonic, and my only experience with anything. I still haven't played one, so I mean that's
there's
still
a really
the
cool.
only one I've done.
They're
There's a really cool video for that, Zach. If you look it up,
the big ones, like obviously the best ones
A YouTube
are
video.
the your traditional side scrollers,
Yeah.
like platformers. They're just really fast paced and they're pretty fun. But if you want like 3D ones to play, they're very hit or miss. The 3D ones are, but
The
I'd say,
new
like,
one looks really kind of interesting.
I think which one? Oh yeah,
Sonic Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, what is it actually called? Is it
I have
Sonic,
no idea what it's actually called. I just know it's a.
Oh, I can't think of it right now, but no, that looks sick actually. But like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are really good on GameCube. I like those ones a lot. But other than that, 3D Sonic, it's pretty hit or miss.
Yeah.
Sonic Colors is good. That one's actually just came out on the Switch. That one's more. It's kind of a combination of both 2D and 3D. Like there's segments where you're running 3D and then it'll switch to 2D, and Generations does well on that too. And that's kind of just a leveler to the series as well. But yeah, I like Sonic. It's dope. I think you would enjoy it. Like you like Mario, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but like if you like that side scroller platformer type game, it's pretty
not
good.
my thing.
So
But that's to each their own.
yes, I agree. Bring chows back. Chows are sick. They're like little creatures that are like these little blue dudes that you can raise. And in the second Sonic Adventure game, they had like a Chow Garden where you could raise them, get food for them, like put stats into them, and then you like have them race. Very similar like Chocobos, but like it was a little bit more fleshed out, and it was like its own side game inside this game, and it was super sick. You can make them like light and dark, and you could like take them to hell and like make them demons basically, or you could take them up these staircases to heaven and make them angels. It was like super sick.
Interesting.
But yeah, so
But video game movies, potential. That's all. That's how one word to describe it. Potential.
Yeah.
yeah,
Potential. I
No.
mean that. Dude, I really wish they were better. But I think at the same time with the way things are going and the that video games are becoming a lot more mainstream now. Even
Oh, yeah.
even like in the last 5 years, you know, it's really ramped up. So I think that it's
yeah.
only gonna get better.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
and the
budgets are
writing
gonna get
in
better.
games are
Yep.
better. The budgets are better. You know, like everything is getting better and better because they're making a lot more money because video games are growing significantly faster, I think, than people even 5 years ago thought they would right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the movies, it's only a matter of time before they really catch up and they get to be just as good.
So
you know?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, before we kind of move on here, I know I've briefly mentioned the Halo series, like, and obviously Dan, you're a huge Halo fan. Like, what do you have this kind of same concerns? Because I have some concerns.
Yeah. They're changing the story
Yeah.
quite a bit to a point. They're changing character quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't freaking change Master Chief.
No, I
Right.
hate the voice. The voice is not.
I can get over the voice
I
because
just
like
can't.
it's a physical person that has to be this actor as well who does more than just.
But do you? Because he shouldn't ever take his helmet off. So
He
it could just
shouldn't.
be a CG
Well,
character or is a guy under
The thing is, outside of the video games, he took his helmet off all the time because he didn't always have armor. You know, like there's a
Yeah.
lot more than just the video game storyline
Yeah.
for Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
so I understand that part.
I feel like they
But
could
when he
bring
has
him
armor-
back and like do the voice and just have some other guy or like a CG character or whatever they do, and then if they did take the mask off, you know, then they could do
he
some.
can take his mask off. And you don't even
Nobody
have to show
cared
his
who I
face.
was until I
Yeah,
put on
but-
the mask.
Like I don't know, they're doing something different with it, but they're changing how people view Chief and all that stuff too. Like
Yeah.
just some of the lore is changing, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a little.
If
worried
there's
about
one story that you don't need to change whatsoever, and you
Halo.
can still do crazy things with, it's Halo.
It is Halo.
Yeah.
It is definitely
But-
Halo. So
We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
I don't have Paramount TV, but someone does, and I'll watch it.
yeah, I'll definitely
see.
watch it.
We'll see
for
how it
sure,
is.
So.
When's that coming out?
Pretty
Soon.
soon.
I don't know when, but it's soon.
Is it the end of March?
Maybe that sounds right.
I think so. I think like really soon, actually. But
I can get it for you if you want. I know a guy.
yeah. All right.
I know
Well.
a guy.
Well, do
We'll
you
see.
finally have a topic, Jordan?
Yeah. Is that a no?
I've been thinking about a couple different ones we could talk about here. So the other day, everyone's out of town, you know, I was just kind of chilling,
Mhm.
and I decided to boot up the Nintendo 64 emulator on the Switch.
I still need to play
Mhm.
it.
And yeah, because I added you to the
no.
family group, so you could play it.
Yeah.
And I started to play Banjo-Kazooie again.
Mm-hmm.
And holy crap, guys, that game holds up
Yeah.
so well.
It loo-
And I just want to know, like, what
I'm always down,
games you guys have played, you know, from
That
growing
still
up
hold the
that,
test of
that
time?
still hold up. Like, what ones could you go back and have someone play today who didn't play them and be like, you know what? This is still a good game, even by today's standards.
Minus graphics.
Well, minus graphics, but I think the graphics of Banjo-Kazooie, like the art, like it has its own charm, you know? And so I think that kind of holds up even. Like, it's not great. Like,
Sure.
the render distance isn't good,
Yeah.
but
What's also
the,
64?
well, yeah, but like the art style holds up. Like,
Yeah,
the
no.
art style it has its own
Just the
charm to
aesthetic.
it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just a good aesthetic that even today's would hold up. So
Final Fantasy games.
all of them.
Most of the old ones.
I would agree with that.
Um,
You know.
7, 8, and 9. Freaking incredible.
Yeah.
I would recommend anyone play those who likes that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they have remaster versions now, which I mean don't change a whole lot.
But I think they added some quality of life improvements.
Yeah,
Like, at least
but
from what I've played. You know.
that's a hot debate. The speed up thing.
I was gonna
So
ask. That's the one that has like
that's
the
a
fast
very
forward,
hot
right?
debate.
Yeah. I mean,
think
I don't encourage using
your
it a
first time
ton,
playing
but,
it
like,
ever. You shouldn't play with that ever.
I think my view on it is if you're just trying to grind out and you're just in an area and you're just trying to get levels, like it's only saving you time. Like I feel like
That's not the point though.
I know, but like I don't know. It makes it more accessible to people because it's like a lot of people don't have the time to put 40 hours into grinding.
Right.
You know.
Wait,
and
not everyone's a
Some
Twitch
you do.
streamer.
Some do.
Some do.
You don't have to put 40 hours either,
That's
but
the thing. It's an
whether
option.
you want to or want.
You don't have to use it.
Not everyone's a Twitch streamer
Everyone's
that can
gonna
do that.
use it.
Weird.
There's no. even if there is an option not to use it, you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So I like having no option. So you can't.
Yeah. So, but what other games then do you guys think
So,
hold up over?
Zach says Ocarina of Time. I'm actually, you might fight me on this one. I think Majora's Mask is better, and I would say that one for sure.
I think A Link to the Past is the best Zelda game.
So Zach
on
asked, "Are we
SNES.
talking games that?" Oh my God, Logan.
Nothing
He
like
asked,
that.
"Are we talking about games that came out Nintendo 64 or older, or what's the cutoff?" There is no cutoff. If a
It's just
game,
older games to test.
if you think a game that came out way back in the day would hold up now and are still a good game to this day, like without the rose-colored glasses, what ones would it be? Because I mean, I could pull right here.
All the Pokemon games, in my opinion.
Is that
Well,
Angry
actually,
O
I
or
would
Surprised
argue-
O, Zach?
Pokemon Gold right here.
I would actually argue Gen 1 and 2, original Gen 1 and 2 don't hold up.
I would say this does.
I
I
would
think Gold
challenge
does.
I challenge you to go back and play Red or Yellow or Gold.
I have.
I
love them.
think if you're gonna play Gen 1 or 2, I think you should play the remakes. That's what.
Well,
at
I
least
mean,
for, like,
Soul Silver is the perfect Pokemon game in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
so-
that being said, if
Hard
I,
Gold.
obviously for like
same thing.
obviously
Same
for
thing,
Pokemon
Daniel.
fans,
Crystal was awesome.
It doesn't
I love
matter.
Crystal.
Crystal was really good.
for Pokemon fans, it doesn't matter. Like I still go back and play Crystal on my 3DS a lot, but I think if
that's
we're
all-
looking at bringing newcomers in and like just be more accessible, I think the remakes
What is
are way
it-
better.
What stands the test of time for those?
I think a lot of the mechanical
just for,
errors.
for Pokemon games in general. Like
Well,
what is?
So I think
I don't
those
think
games
much has
would,
changed,
right?
Really.
No, but I think with Gen 1, especially Gen 1, Gen 2 fixed a lot of things, but it still had its bugs. Like, there's just so many, early gaming things that are in the game and, like, working out the kinks. Like, there's a lot of issues with red, blue, and yellow. Like, just graphically, mechanically, like, there was, the infamous bide where it was, like, a busted move and, like, you just get locked in it and just get knocked out in one turn or whatever. The whole thing of like Ghost being broken and like not working right, and like how Ghost is supposed to be super effective against Psychic, but then in the coding for the original games it's not. And just there's plenty of things like that like just don't hold up. And
But that doesn't make the games bad though.
no. But like if we're looking at like that stand the test of time and like any newcomer could come in and enjoy it, I would really just encourage the remakes over, Fire Red and Leaf
Sure.
Green are way, way better than Red Blue.
Sure.
Like, I just think,
Well,
there's-
yeah, but that's because they are remakes though, and so they had an opportunity to go back and fix those things. That's not what we're talking about. Like if Banjo-Kazooie never got remade, so for me, that works. Donkey
Yeah.
Kong 64 has not been remade, so that works.
no, but like,
So obviously, if there was a remake of Banjo-Kazooie, then I would recommend that.
see, no, I would still,
But the original still holds up. is
I
what
would
I'm
still
saying.
say, play the original. Like, in those cases, because there's nothing
Well-
functionally wrong with Banjo-Kazooie.
That's 'cause
like, it's
there's
a very
no-
mechanically sound game.
You have to play the original because there's no remake.
I think
Yeah,
if
no, I know,
if it
but, like-
stands the test of time, it means even with all of its flaws and messed up parts, it's so freaking good that it doesn't matter.
Like Pokemon
Yeah.
Gold, I would say is a great game.
I wouldn't. This is just my personal opinion. When I think of that stuff, I don't think of Pokemon games because I think there's so many other games that fit that description more than a Pokemon game.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
Like I said, like Final Fantasy VII,
yeah.
like terrible graphics,
Yeah.
awful,
Yep.
but one of the best stories ever.
Yeah, and like that's a testament to that is like I literally
You know,
that's how I got into Final Fantasy, and I played that like 2 years ago, and I
Mhm.
played the original Final Fantasy VII, and I was taken away by it. Like it was amazing. It's up there for one of my favorite games now. So that does, go past the test of time there, in that sense because it's even in 2019 I played it.
so
2020.
still worth playing. You
Yeah,
know, like
it is.
if you've never played that game, if you're into story-driven content, JRPGs or whatever, like go back. It's so worth it still.
Yeah.
Just because it was older and the mechanics were a little bit different and the graphics were horrible and terrible, doesn't mean the story is not as epic as it was back then.
Well, that's the nice thing about story-based games too. Is the story is never going to change. So even though game mechanics and graphics might,
Sure.
if it's a great story, it's still going to hold up years
Yeah, it
later.
doesn't
Because
matter, I
great
think.
stories are always going to hold up.
Yeah.
Like, what about SNES: A Link to the Past?
Oh, that's
Zach.
That's another one.
Personally, I think that is the best Zelda game ever made.
That's a very good one.
I still need to play more Zelda games because
You do.
Link's Awakening and Breath of the Wild are the only two
Yeah.
I've played.
You do. You got
A Link to the Past stands the test of time for sure for me. Like it wasn't crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but graphics wise or anything like that. But it was also top down.
Honestly, I feel like it's hard to
8-bit
find
kind of stuff on SNES, right? But it's still good.
I have a hard time thinking anything on SNES doesn't stand the test of time. That console is just
You can't say it's bad, Zach.
so amazing that like every
You're supposed to be
game
the
that I
true
can
Zelda
think
fan. You
of
should
for
know better.
that console just immediately, in my opinion, are classics and stand the test of time. You got Super Mario World, Kirby Superstar, Link to the Past, F-Zero started on that.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Super Mario Brothers. No, well, that's NES.
No, that's SNES.
No, it's NES.
No, they had All Stars, which is all three
Well,
of them. Was on
yeah,
and
but like
SNES,
it's
man.
originally an NES game. And
Really?
then just
Can't do SNES games, huh? That's interesting.
it's just in my opinion.
Some great
and
ones.
Of course, Earthbound, my favorite game. Like that game's all. I think,
I need to grab
in my
something.
opinion, all the SNES games stand the test of time.
Keep talking.
Or at least the main ones. Obviously, there's a bunch of crap on it. Like you have what Mario is missing.
Really?
Is not great, but
That's crazy, Zach.
that is.
But I mean, if you can't do SNES games for whatever reason, I understand, I guess.
Yeah.
But personally, I think it's the best one out there.
My favorite Zelda game still is Wind Waker. I think that one is just
Wind Waker, or
Wind
I thought
Waker.
Link's Awakening was your favorite.
Well, Link's Awakening is definitely tied. I go back and forth, honestly.
Really?
Link's Awakening and Wind Waker are up there, like kind of fighting, all the time for it. But
Okay, so I couldn't find. I thought I had Super Mario Bros. 3, but those
I didn't know
Yep.
you had these actually.
Yeah, that's what I got there. I still haven't played
The gold cartridge.
Yeah.
Nice.
Zelda 2 and Zelda 1. I actually want to get these just for display because I don't have an NES, but
If you get graded versions of the gold cartridges of those, like sealed, they're worth
worth
so much
tons.
freaking money.
yeah.
Yeah, they're worth a lot, but I don't have them, sadly. That's what I got.
This game, I will say, the original Zelda doesn't stand the test of time.
The original Zelda's not. Like,
It's
a fan,
It's
but-
not,
See, I don't know where my other Mario game's at. I don't know where they... Because I have, Super Mario Bros., but I know I have Super Mario Bros. 2 or 3 somewhere for the NES.
Can you play NES, Zach, and not SNES? Is there a difference? Or do you just want the cartridges?
But yeah, no, that's sick.
Oh, I forget how much I spent on these.
30,
30 bucks and 20 bucks. I spent 50 bucks on
I
both,
would-
which that's not too bad.
No, I'd pay that.
It's probably worth it.
Like, I don't have an NES, but I would get those just for, like, shelf pieces because
Yeah.
they're so sick.
But
And I honestly do want to get an NES at some point.
They're
just
so
for
shiny.
a collection.
yeah, Super Mario All Stars on SNES was
Yeah, that's
freaking awesome.
That's great.
the 3-in-1.
Gosh, there's probably a ton of just like JRPGs in general. Like had such love on SNES because you had that was before Square Enix joined.
Mhm.
Like it was SquareSoft and
Square.
Enix. And so you have like Mario RPG 2 is another great one. Final Fantasy 6, right? Or 6.
4, what?
It's
There
2.
it is.
It was in the Nintendo, but Super
Gotcha.
Mario Bros. 2 was the other one I got.
Gotcha. Is it 6?
I think it's a personal issue that you need to work through, Zach. If you can play NES
that's
and not SNES,
That's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, isn't it
That's
Final
strange.
Fantasy 6 is on the that's the one with the female protagonist?
Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's up there for a lot of people. I haven't
Oh
played
yeah.
it.
A lot of people love that one. I think that's probably the best one.
Secret of Mana,
I
like
think it's the best
so
one, but-
many great JRPGs come from that. It's just I think most SNES games are just stand the test of time in general.
I can't help you, Zach, man.
Yeah, I never had an SNES. I had.
I didn't
loved
either.
it so
I
much.
passed
I went from the NES to the Nintendo 64, and we never had the Super Nintendo. Because I was just at that age, where that was my dad's, the NES. But I mean, being born in '94, I was just at that age where it wouldn't make sense for me to play games on the Super Nintendo. Like my cousins that were just a couple years older than me, they had it, but we just got the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I mean, I played my Super Nintendo.
I
My
wish
brother played it
I wish
when-
I grew up on that.
1999, man.
Yeah.
It
I
was
wish-
just so good.
Yeah, I
but
really wish I grew up
I,
on
I had Atari, skipped NES, and went to Super Nintendo,
Interesting.
That's quite the jump.
and then went to PlayStation after that, and then
Yep.
Xbox. And then we're back to PlayStation.
We had about the same, almost the same path then, because I went Nintendo, like the NES to 64 to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and then PS4.
I never got a PS2. I went directly to
Wow,
Xbox.
mine is
No.
completely different.
Xbox One. But
I also had GameCube, but
Yeah.
you are younger than us too.
Yeah.
you are significantly
I
younger than
started.
us.
My first was Xbox 360,
And what a one to start on.
and then I got a Wii, and
Golden
then
age of Xbox.
after that I got into actually got into gaming, and I got a GameCube, and then I got what came after my GameCube? Oh, and then I bought a PS4. It was like my first console, like new console I bought on my own, and then Switch, and then yeah, I think that's about it for me. And then
Yeah.
GameCube. Yeah, I said GameCube. I bought that later on, and I'm getting a collection for that. But yeah, I definitely wish I would have grew up in the SNES, NES era, because that would have been a time, to start gaming.
Dude, the games back then were so good. I mean, I can't even say that they all hold up because a lot of them don't.
They're
let's be
iconic.
real. They're iconic.
If you're thinking
but
of a game era, like NES, SNES is iconicism. I think that's exactly what it was. That's really
yeah.
the start of gaming.
But see, there's a
know?
difference though between being iconic and holding up today. Like,
yeah, sure, but a
so-
lot of them still do.
because I would say
Old school Zelda and Mario games, you can
Yeah,
play
which
those
is
all
what I'm
day
saying.
long.
SNES in general, majority of the
Sure,
library stands
there
up.
was a lot because they had the fake third-party games coming out at that same
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of garbage out
Yeah.
there too. But there was so
But the
much.
mainstream and the
the
good
mainstream
stuff, that's all
big company
stands.
games, AAA at that time, I guess. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
they work, and that's what your iconic stuff. That's your
Yeah.
Mario. That's your Zelda. That's
Yeah.
your. Gosh, what are the other ones?
Chicken and Manna,
Yeah, I mean,
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy was Fire Emblem a thing back then? I don't remember.
It was, but it wasn't in English. They
Right.
didn't come out in English
And then-
until GameCube, I think.
Yeah, that was.
But
And those games are still raved about today. They're still played all the time for
Yep.
fun. They
Yep.
speed runs all the time. Like they become memes.
yep,
Like they're still huge.
What was the? I forget who it was. There was a Twitch streamer that was playing Super Mario 64,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to do the glitch to get through the third Bowser door, like that would take you to the room that had the big clock tower. Like you go up the stairs on the second
Yeah.
level. He was trying to do that glitch where you just phase through it, and it's one of my favorite Twitch clips because of how embarrassed he was. But he was trying so hard. He's like, this isn't working at all. He hands the controller to this chick sitting next to him. She does it first try and just looks at him like, are you stupid? Like, how did you not get this? And the look on his face, man, he was like, are you kidding me? Like, she got it first try. He was struggling. He's like getting mad. He's like, this isn't working. This is stupid. She's like, here. So gives it to her first try. She gets it immediately. And she even makes fun. She's like, why are your controls like this? Because they were playing an emulator on the PC. So she's using an Xbox controller. And she's like, this isn't even like the original controls. Like, why are you using controls like this? It just takes the controller in first try.
that's funny.
Made me laugh.
Interesting.
Yeah, other things that I'm trying to think of. Most GameCube games, in my opinion, stand up pretty well. Like I said earlier, Wind Waker is is probably my favorite Zelda games. It's tied, in my opinion, with Link's Awakening,
Mhm.
and that one is great. Sunshine is amazing for Mario.
I still need to play
That
that.
one's cool. I like
That one's really
game.
good. What else we got? Luigi's Mansion is great. I think that one still holds
What
up
one?
pretty well. The original.
The original, okay.
Yeah.
Which was on
GameCube.
GameCube.
It
Gotcha.
was like the GameCube launch title.
Okay.
Yep, it was the first. I think wasn't it the first Nintendo console that didn't launch with a Mario game, but instead it was Luigi.
I have
think
no
so.
idea.
I think that's
I don't
right.
know.
Zach might
Zach
correct
will
me on
know.
that. I think that's right.
That could be right.
But yeah, so it was that was a launch title for it. Yeah, other than that, Not much else I can think of.
So that's your guys' list of what holds up.
I mean,
pretty
there's
well?
plenty
like-
more. I think it's really easy for story-based games that have like stellar
Yeah.
story. Multiplayer games
It's
are
really
tougher.
hard,
I think.
Yeah.
I think the Halo series
Yeah.
stands.
Yeah.
I could go and get a few Xboxes together and link them up and play Halo 1 system link, and it'd be still freaking awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I'd agree.
Halo 2, Halo 3, all of it, same.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know.
And the stories are still great.
I
Campaign's
feel the
wonderful.
same way with like some Call of Duties, but like the support for them is
Modern
Support is
Warfare
gone.
and Modern Warfare 2, the
You
story
can't
definitely.
Modern Warfare
play
2. Like
those.
if you
Yeah.
if you could just not change anything about Modern Warfare 2, but like bring the online back and not have like just be a bunch of hackers. Like you just be actually good online to how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
And put a new like kid on that system, they'd love that game.
Oh yeah, I would
That
say
one
Modern
stands.
Warfare 2 is the best Call of Duty multiplayer.
I would
was
agree
ever,
with that.
Ever
I would
was.
honestly, I
agree.
prefer 3.
I never
think
played 3.
was freaking amazing.
See, and I never played
It
Modern
was
Warfare 3.
it
so.
was 2 just with the better life,
I just
differences. Maybe time to kill was a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
Some of the stuff that was really cheap, like infinite claymores and noob tubes, that didn't really happen. Which I love that in MW2 because I just wreck
See,
people
I
with
love-
claymores all day long.
I love
Yeah.
quick scoping. That was my favorite thing on YouTube.
You are a loser.
I'd go around
Go
and just
home.
I would just
You use the intervention
what's that?
intervention
Yeah.
sniper.
I mean, it was the best sniper. but
Yeah.
And then we'd do like quick scope matches on Rust back in the day. Oh,
360
level.
no scope.
That really,
yes.
what set those games apart was they actually had freaking amazing level design.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
I don't remember a recent Call of Duty game that had good level design.
Well, there's a reason why they keep bringing back all the old maps.
I know it's so
Well, it's all
freaking
like
cheap.
it's all like this 3-lane
And they-
system now.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been a 3-lane
But it's
system, and that
been-
makes for good competitive play.
Yeah, but like it's been I don't know. I feel like it's been handled better in the past. Like it wasn't as
It was
obviously
handled way better in the
it's
past.
not as been as obviously 3 ways, right? Like there's
I thought it was. I thought it was more
Really?
simplistic, to be honest.
I guess I never really thought much
Um,
about the older maps. Like
I don't know. It's just they try to do so much more by doing less. I don't know if that makes sense.
yeah, I get it.
It's just I don't know. They're not aesthetically pleasing. They're boring. They make for stupid gunfights a lot of times. They've added different mechanics that don't hold up.
Well,
for
also a lot of it
competitive play.
now they're focusing more on
Doors and
Warzone,
crap.
and they're focusing more on the
Well,
battle royale aspect
Activision
of it.
and all of Call of Duty don't give a crap about
No.
care for their game anymore.
No, they
so,
don't.
No, they don't.
Which we've talked about
Yeah,
that in
that's-
the past. That's a
gone
whole
out
nother
the
can of worms.
wayside,
So
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love MW3.
Well.
MW2 was my jam as well, but MW3 was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's like we kind of said, it's hard to do those multiplayer games, but like if there's a way to like kind of revive the the online of it to like how it was
honestly,
originally,
you don't
I
even
would-
need just the multiplayer. Like I went back the other night and I was playing the MW2 story because it's
Yeah.
remastered on PlayStation 4, and
See,
I genuinely adore that game. Like even now, like the story holds up so
yeah,
well.
I mean I always
Same thing with
loved
Halo.
I always loved the campaigns of Call of Duty, but I always thought they were the like they were a side mode. I always have been on Call of Duty like it's a multiplayer focused game,
Yeah.
and I mean it is because it's I mean they've
Oh, yeah.
taken out
Yeah.
the campaign for the past how many now, but I don't know. I've always
It's
liked
generally
them, but
geared.
it's
Sorry, I was talking to Zach, but it's generally geared to for competitive play.
Yeah.
Which a lot of multiplayer games, it's a heavily emphasized thing. Ranked play or competitive, even with esports and stuff. So
Yeah.
but yeah no other than that I really can't think of anything else. So
that's a vague term. 3-lane is a vague term. It's more than 3 stuff. It's just 3 giant basic
Yeah.
lanes to add
Yeah.
for
yeah.
competitive game modes. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we need to come up with a fourth topic because we don't have one
I don't know.
since Weston's not here.
It's hard. You keep saying talk about anime.
No, he's only doing that despite me. And
Yeah, but I
know
like
that.
talking about anime.
I do too. But what would we talk about if
I
we
have
talk
no
about
idea.
anime?
No idea, but yeah, we need to come up with a fourth topic because Weston's not here. We need a fourth idea. Do you want Zach come up with a topic? We'll let Zach pick.
Oh,
There we
boy.
go.
Zach is
Oh,
going
boy.
to come up
Give
with
us
our fourth
something to
topic
discuss,
today.
Zach.
Something he wants us to talk about. Because, I mean, honestly,
Put on
I'm
the spot.
down to talk about almost whatever
Yeah,
except for anime. Because I don't know anything
Zach,
about it.
if you pick an anime topic, I would laugh so
That'd be
hard.
amazing.
I'm just going to leave if he does. Logan's going to end it 2
Just
weeks in
sit
a row.
there.
I'll be alright with that.
I'd go to
You
the
can add
couch.
to a conversation even if you don't like the stuff.
No, if you guys talk about anime, I'm just going to go sit on the couch and chill.
Coward.
I don't know anything about anime. I'm not going to sit here and talk about
I
it.
don't know anything about freaking software and hardware. When you and Weston talk about it, I still
That's
sit
true.
here.
That's true, me neither.
Got you there.
Shut up. So, Zach, pick the fourth topic. Come on.
Yep, putting it in your spot.
He's like, oh, no, I don't like this.
I was just about to
Do we have
do
Do we have the right to veto?
Veto.
Do you have the what?
The right to veto a topic. What is the first? It doesn't matter what the first anime Jordan should watch because he's so set against it anyway. It doesn't matter. He's
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
true.
say this sucks. I hate it.
That is true.
Because
Although
he views it as like loser weeb stuff.
yeah,
I like Pokemon.
It's, yeah.
I would say
you watch the old Pokemon anime.
I downloaded the Pokemon TV on the Switch, and I have watched that.
then watch anime. I would say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a good one to start on. Even though it's kind
I'm
of
trying to think about what Jordan would like though, and I don't think he'd like that.
you don't think he'd watch?
No.
I think you'd like Attack on Titan. It's very action packed.
I don't know. I think I'd throw you at the set of Star Wars anime that just came out.
That's pretty good.
You get your fun lightsaber duels
That is
in anime form, and it's sick.
The first episode
actually.
is sick.
There's a lot of them that are really good.
Yeah.
They're all different studios, anime studios that did different episodes
Mm-hmm.
with their own stories and different like art styles and stuff. You might actually enjoy it.
I just realized there's a line where they're supposed to not fill up past with ice on your cup.
Yep, to do.
Never noticed that until just now.
But yeah, see, my thing is like I feel like if you're gonna start him on anime, he needs to get into like anime. You know, obviously it's anime.
He won't
but, like,
though. I know Jordan.
Yeah, but I think generally
He never listens to me.
we tell you a lot.
I do sometimes.
We
Very,
tell you
very,
a lot, but
very
I
rarely.
think knowing you and knowing your tastes and things, I think you will really enjoy anime because you are into like the action and
I
like
feel like it'd have to be comedy.
you think so? I feel like just how you are with things like with action, like how you predominantly like Star Wars for the lightsabers and stuff. Like a lot of anime fights are super dope, and like I can think of
game.
I think we talked about that a few weeks ago. We talked about worst game we've ever played.
yeah, we have talked about that.
Yeah, that was
Few
the
weeks ago?
topic
I
a
don't
couple
remember.
weeks ago. Because I brought up that one on the Xbox where it was like the Nazis invaded New York City, and it was such a terrible game. Like
Was
this,
that Homefront or something?
I honestly forget the name of it.
I
I just know it was terrible. It was the story was the concept was super cool, but then everything about it was terrible. We talked about that.
All good, dude.
I know
She's already done better in Wolfenstein, so kind of
Mecha Hitler.
Mecha Hitler.
Hmm.
But yeah, see now I'm just trying to think of animes for Jordan to watch that he never will.
If
but-
you gave it a chance, you would also kind of maybe have to know a little bit about, not really, but a little bit about Japanese Yakuza culture. But
not really. I mean,
feel like if you watched The Way of the House Husband, you'd find it humorous.
yeah, that's a good one.
It's so freaking funny, dude.
That is a good one.
It's just so over the top, and I love it. But
Oh,
I don't know.
what's a dream game in your mind? That's
dream
good. I like that
game.
one. Let's do that one.
You want to talk about that?
Like what
Yeah.
makes a dream game,
No,
or what
like-
you think is a dream game, or what?
Well, he says
want?
what game would hit all the check boxes for you to think it'd be a perfect game?
Yes. That's a good one. I
It to be a
think
perfect game.
Mother 3.
Story.
Okay,
Story.
I got
Okay.
one.
Oh, what actual games are perfect games? We think are perfect.
No,
games?
what would you want to be a game? Like what's your if you could make one game right now, what would it be? I think is what he's asking.
Earthbound.
So that's a remake. You can't do remakes. So what I would think would
Why
be a
not?
perfect game, and this would hit a lot of the boxes for me, would be to do something that crosses like Sea of Thieves, which is one of my favorite games, with like really, really good Elder Scrolls graphics, like, you know, like the next big title graphics, like just super good graphics wise. But instead of pirate, make it Viking. Make it all Norse stuff. Where you can go in and like raid villages and
Pretty sure
you know,
that's
but
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I haven't played it.
I'm pretty sure you do that because my dad's been playing that the past year or
But
so.
I was gonna say like then have like some sort of a crafting mechanic like where you can actually like, you know, customize and build ships and you can like build a base and kind of like.
Pretty sure you do that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I know
There's
you
a
raid.
game that's like that too that just came out recently or is about pirates or whatever. That's the whole point of the game was. It's a more real. It's not Sea of Thieves, but it's a more realistic Sea of Thieves.
No, honestly though, check out Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's a lot of what you're describing. It's in that game. You have ships and you command fleets, and you can like raid like villages and stuff, and it's pretty sick. My dad's been playing a lot of it. Chucka, there actually is a Pokemon MMO. It's called Poke MMO. It's actually pretty decent.
That's not
it's
official.
not an MMO though.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's no interaction between other people in the game aside from if you go into a multiplayer section and just like randomly multiplayer.
No, you can just go run up to people and talk to people. We'd always do that.
You can't do anything. Do you see them on the map? That is it.
No,
Nothing
and then
else.
you go up and talk to them and you can battle. That's how we did it. When we had that
There's no.
weekend
That's
or
not
so.
interaction. That's not real interaction.
You're just mad because
It's nothing.
Trevor not beat you.
Well, it was really dumb. But no, but that's not an MMO. That's not an MMO. You don't work together with a massive multiplayer online. That's not. That's not an MMO. It's called Pokemon. No, but it's not.
But no, it is a thing.
I think though, like I want something that's, you know, a multiplayer game like Sea of Thieves, that's Viking, that has super good graphics, like high quality, realistic graphics.
Yep, it's Valhalla. You're describing Valhalla. At least from
Without
what I've
the
With
comedy.
like
at least when I played Valhalla.
with like Minecraft crafting mechanics, stuff like that.
I think
you
there
know?
is crafting. I don't think Minecraft level, but
Where you
No.
can like go, you know, customize everything exactly you want. You have to go
What
get the
phone's
materials. You have to do all that different stuff. Like that. That's kind of what I want.
yeah. No, I think you should play Valhalla. I think that's kind of a lot of what you're describing.
It's hard for me to think of a dream game. I think it's all comes from story in the first part,
Yeah.
and I can't just tell you a story that, like, part of that is it's got to be something unique and new, right?
Yep. Which
So I
is
can't
so
tell
hard
you,
to do nowadays.
You know, and I don't mean it can't be, you know, anything we've ever heard of at all, but I mean it's got to be something unique. Aside from the story-driven content, which is a crazy, and I want it long. I love long games. You know,
Yeah.
I want to grind a little bit. I love simulation games. I actually love simulation games.
Like
So
what ones?
not just specific games in general, but just the idea of simulation. So like, even if you want to go to like Stardew Valley, you know,
Okay.
so that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing, where you create your whatever. In that game, it's like a farm, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
create your farm, and
Yep.
you go through that whole thing. Fire Emblem Three Houses has a simulation aspect of getting to know all the other students and everything, and teachers, and building rapport with them that adds to the game later on. So I like that aspect. I want a huge, massive, story-driven game that has that side stuff that's not a side thing, you know? Really, that's really another part of the game that's huge too.
Yeah.
I like those
Gotcha.
two things being thrown together, and you don't see it much. One of the last games that really did anything, and it wasn't really simulation, but like Fallout 4, they did a super overhaul on the whole village, you know, crafting type thing, right?
If that was implemented better, that would have been super cool.
Could have been cool. So I like that kind of stuff too. That's added on and made, you know, a second or third, you know, part of that game,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
branch. I like that stuff. I have yet to see it done completely amazingly. It's been done really good. I have yet to
Yeah.
see, you know, it just checks every single box, you know.
Yeah.
It gives you everything, the ability to do whatever you want, to kind of the things that, you know,
Yeah.
hit it for me.
Yeah.
That would be a dream game, a perfect game for me.
See, I think the problem is it's so hard to
It's a lot.
to say
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's so hard to say this would be my one perfect dream game, because you run into the issues where, you know, you can, like what you were just saying, you know, I liked it with Fallout 4, but that was terrible. So if they could fix that, how would they fix it to make it better? And then it's going to run into it's going to run into so many different issues. Like, it's so hard to say, you know, this is going to be the perfect game, because obviously what's perfect for you would be completely different. And
completely
that's
personal.
and I know, but
I think somebody's what he was asking, but
I'm a very easy to please person.
He's simplistic.
And so
we know.
Honestly, right now, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet might be, in my opinion, like a dream game, like open world.
That's not dream.
Not
traditional Pokemon game. But no, like if I had to think of one, honestly, a like anime, like JRPG. Like obviously there is that, but I'm talking.
That's
like
what a JRPG is.
I know.
I was going to say that.
No, that's true. I shouldn't phrase it like that. That doesn't make sense. But like a Bleach JRPG, or like. I feel like a lot of like
something
the
in the
world anime of games, they
in the world of something.
Yeah, like I feel like the anime games we get now are just kind of like the 3D arena fighters, and I'm like they're cool, they can be fun, but I want something like a JRPG where you have a party, it's turn based. Like how awesome
that
would
would
be
my thing. All the new Final Fantasy stuff, like the graphics, all that stuff, turn based.
Yeah, but how you cannot tell me this would not be sick? A Bleach game that has its own story, its own world, or like it's the same world, but like it's a whole different kind of area or whatever. And you had a party where you could get Ichigo and Renji and all of these people in your party, and then like have these fights, like these turn-based battles. I think it'd be sick, and I wish they would experiment more with the anime genre of games, because it's very just. Oh, hey, let's do another 3D arena fighter. And that's what I've heard good about the Demon Slayer game that just came out, is it's obviously one of those arena fighters, but it does more story stuff, and it does more kind of cooler things with how it handles the game.
They don't have the desire in Japan really for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which sucks.
They don't have the budget to do crazy stuff. Same with like movies they do, there's a certain, I don't know, level of garbage it is.
Yeah. But like
they care about their actual anime, that's where they put all their money in, and then they care about actual games, but that aren't, just like the offshoots. Oh, we'll just make this into a game,
Yeah.
So you don't see that a lot.
Which but like just thinking like a My Hero game would be sick, like even if it wasn't a JRPG too, like just something, maybe like an open world experience too, right? Like where you just take the main character and you're exploring this world, and it's not this 3D arena fighter combat, and it's actually like it feels good, and I just think there's a lot to be desired when it comes to anime games. And I like playing video games, and I like a lot of these worlds that I've been watching in anime, like Bleach and My Hero Academia and Fullmetal Alchemist and all these Tokyo Ghoul, and like I would love to play video games and be in that world and experience that from a video game perspective.
I think you'd have to be careful though, because like you said, some of the things you threw out there, like the open world or the just normal battle, you got to be careful with, is this game going to get boring quick? And that stuff really, that makes a good game when that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or where you finish it, it's a long game, a story game or something like that. You finish it, you haven't been bored throughout it. You kept your attention.
Yeah.
And you feel complete, but also sad at the end because wow, I finished this game.
Yeah.
It's done. That makes a good game.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to be really careful, especially with some of that. We throw out the term open world. That's the whole thing now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make a good game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's some open world games that are just atrociously
I would
bad.
say a majority, I think, a slight majority of open world games, especially now, because it's like all the rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think are really, really mediocre.
I think a lot of it's just completely overdone, though.
It is overdone. It's the new thing. And since when did freaking Breath of the Wild become the pinnacle of open world game? Oh, it's like Breath of the Wild. It's like it's like a genre now. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
there's been open world games that were fantastic, way before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's true.
Were there really?
I think,
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
I feel like
It's
Elden
so
Ring's
dumb.
about. I feel like Elden Ring's about to take that though.
Well,
I
I hate when people give those titles
Yeah.
for games, and
I
it's
think-
usually stupid game reviewers in like magazine,
Which we
online
talked
magazine
about
companies
last
like we
week.
did.
Yeah,
So dumb. Oh, this is really. It's just like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Actually,
I'm
I
like,
think that was what went up on our YouTube today. So if you're
Yeah.
watching this live, if you go to our YouTube, the topic
it's
that
like
went up
Metroidvania
today,
or Souls,
we talked
you
about
know,
video game
Metroidvania
reviewers being
makes
out of touch.
sense, like
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a genre.
to an extent. You
But-
can't just throw everything into that just because it looks somewhat similar.
But
though.
it's the Metroidvania is the gameplay. It's that distinctive
I know.
2D
It's 2D platformer.
2D
It's quick
platformer
paced.
that's like you explore this open world type thing.
Mhm.
No, I'd agree, but I get why they do that with Breath of the Wild. I think it definitely is overhyped and
It's
overdone.
way overhyped.
But Breath of the Wild did change a lot of the open world stuff. Like it didn't do the traditional.
I don't think
For
it
Nintendo,
changed.
It didn't change anything.
I don't think it
was
changed
new
a
for
thing.
Nintendo. That was it.
But see, I don't remember
looked
very many.
Fairly pretty. It was like cell shaded and stuff.
Yep.
We've seen that before. That's
Yeah.
nothing
Yep.
new. It was open world to an extent. We've seen that. It's nothing changed. Like it was just a Zelda.
But,
it was
like-
new for Zelda and Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was
I
it.
feel like it changed how they did open worlds in a sense. Like
No.
I don't remember many open world games before that was like, oh hey, like here you are. There's like hardly any help showing you where to go, and you can do anything you want. And
Morrowind.
That's been a game. That's been a style
See,
forever.
I feel like Skyrim and like
no,
the
no,
Elder Scrolls-
Morrowind.
Morrowind.
Okay, is
For
that
That's the third one.
It's
that's
different?
the best one in my opinion, and that's completely different.
does it do that?
We talked about this last week.
Yeah, where
I
it just
said,
drops you in. There's no.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
You have
It-
a little journal that barely tells you anything.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I
And-
like that then. Okay.
Skyrim, like I said, we're too spoon fed. Skyrim does that.
Zach, that's all open world games, Logan.
No, not really.
No, it's not.
I think of
Elden Ring is not like that.
I think of Ubisoft, and I'm like, they're so handholdy that mechanic.
Oh,
like, where it's like,
They're
oh,
terrible.
hey, here you are, this giant open world, but there's so many little dots in the map that you have to go complete these objectives, and it's like, is it really open world, or are you just giving me this false sense of it's open, but you're just telling me to go to all these points?
Yeah,
And
that's what a lot of games are.
yeah,
world wise.
but like Elden Ring is completely open world.
Well, it's-
Like,
it gives you a general direction.
not really.
The
You
grace.
you hear like, okay, go.
Oh, I'm not saying it tells you exactly where to go, but
Yeah.
it gives you. It's something that's totally different than the rest of the Souls games.
Yeah.
As it gives you a direction that you need to go
I mean,
or should go. You don't
yeah.
have to go that
See,
way.
I'd argue that though, because like I feel like I'm at the point where like I just beat the first boss, and I have a good idea where I need to go, but there's so many places now. Like, okay, is this the next area or is this the next area? Like,
Well,
there's not
you can
like
choose.
yeah, like that's what I like about it. There's not like, oh, here's the first boss. Oh, here's the second boss. Here's the third, and it's like,
That's a lot of open world games, though, too.
Yep.
yeah,
But there are games out there, and there have been for quite a while, that they let you explore. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't give you,
mm-hmm.
like I said, the spoon-fed crap that we have been.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I
sometimes
I call it the
people
Ubisoft
wanna-
formula just because it's kind of like what Ubisoft is known
Yeah,
for.
but-
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
they're
been
open
around
world
before that too.
Yeah.
even, you know.
but they really overdo it. Like almost every
Oh,
open
yeah.
world game
Yeah,
they
they do.
have does the like checkpoints, the towers, the all of that crap. Which it's good. I mean, I don't hate that stuff, but I
Mhm.
think it's kind of severely overdone when it comes to open
And
world
some
games.
games you can turn that stuff off,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah. What's isn't it Horizon? Can you do that in Horizon? Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember
Like,
when I
and there's
started
still
that.
some
still-
of that
yeah,
stuff, but
it's-
it makes it more immersive. If
Yeah,
you don't.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to play that way, you don't have to. Like if
Yeah.
you just want, like I would just want to, casually do this and not have to work, like
Yeah.
grind and find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's
See,
fine.
and that's always cool,
That's
too.
fine, but you can
Yeah.
choose. You can pick and choose whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
And man, Morrowind is great. Remake that game, please. Remake it and don't change it too much.
That's what that fan-made thing is, though, too. Skywind. That they've been working
Yeah, the
on.
mod. It's a
That
mod.
yeah, but I mean that's essentially what it is, though. Is they're remaking Morrowind like piece by
And
piece
a
in
bigger and better
Skyrim.
engine. Well, it is a better engine, but it's the same engine.
It's still not good though.
No.
Like
Man,
I love
do
Skyrim.
away
It
with
is
the creation engine.
I love Skyrim.
Which they
You know,
should
it's my
be-
favorite.
they
Well,
should
they're
have a new one, right?
it's the creation engine 2. So it is a new one.
Yeah.
They just
Is Starfield on that?
I
yes.
think so, yeah.
Because it wasn't
Starfield
originally.
Starfield is the first game on it.
That's good.
Yep,
Good.
and which I'm super glad about because all that means is that it's gonna be Starfield is the first one. Then whatever bugs and whatever kinks they have, they're gonna work out, and that means the Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be on there, and they're
I mean,
gonna
that's
have that
20
stuff.
years down the line anyway.
Shut up!
that
Do
is
not
true.
say 20 years.
It's
I'm
gonna be a long
I
time.
am
Well,
saying 2024.
Supposed to be Starfield's November 2022.
Yeah, but I still don't think Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out.
So-
I think it's gonna be in 2 years. They're gonna give Starfield 2 years, and then
Well, yeah,
it's
but they
gonna
gotta
be,
announce it, and then they gotta wait a year, and then they gotta give you a gameplay trailer, and then they gotta wait a year.
which is why I'm saying they're gonna do it. They've already announced it.
2025.
They
No,
have
it's gonna be
announced it.
2024.
They
They've
have
already
announced
announced it, which means in
When is it gonna
2023.
get moved back? You know
No,
that's
hold
right.
on. Hold on. So that means in 2023, it is going to be reveal
That's
gameplay
true, Brian.
trailer or whatever. They're going to talk about it more, and then 2024, they're going to be like, "Hey, now this is when it's going to come out. It's going to come out in November 2024. Let me have this. This is my one, just little sliver of joy that I
Who
have."
knows? I don't know what they're gonna do.
What if Elder Scrolls 6
I don't
is
know how Bethesda would handle it. You know,
Skyrim or
Zach, but
Elder Scrolls version of Fallout 76?
you could
It's
do a
just
remake.
terrible
I'd be totally down with a
No.
remake, Zach.
multiplayer game.
Or a
No.
remaster, not a remake, remaster. But the thing is, I don't think you could remaster that game without. You would have to
You couldn't just do
revamp it
you
totally
couldn't just do a
graphically.
graphical update.
No, you need to do a lot.
You'd have to do a lot.
Especially since, like,
Textures or whatever.
Now with Bethesda games, a lot of it is everyone's fully voice acted. With that game, there's like maybe 3 people that were voice acted. Like a lot of it's just you talk to them, it's just text. Like
they did voice, but it was like just random voice. Like the actual text came in a text box.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, who are you? How are you doing? That way it would like show up, and then they'd have the text box at the bottom, and you'd go through it.
Yeah. So there's a lot that they would have to redo for sure. They would have to completely like remaster, not even remaster, like you said. It almost would have to be a
Graphical remake, remaster, or something like that.
Yeah, you'd have to do a lot of work for that.
Yeah, and that's why they won't do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't care.
No,
Yeah.
they
not
really
not
don't.
enough to do something like that.
Yeah.
I wish they did.
Man, such a good game.
Yeah.
I wish they cared enough, but yeah, they don't. But we should probably call it here.
Comment on
It's 8:30.
Zach's last thing here. I do think it's still coming this year. I think late, either November or December.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think Breath
I
of the
don't
Wild
know, man.
2 is gonna. I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is ever gonna come out at this point.
I think it's definitely coming out.
I don't know. I feel like at this point,
Early next year, maybe.
maybe and hopefully, but we should probably call this because it is
Yeah,
8:30.
I'm down.
So, thank you so much for hanging out for episode 37 of Uncalled For, where every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time we get together and talk about random stuff.
Sometimes we have
It-
topics. Sometimes we ask from the chat. Thanks, Zach.
Yep.
Yeah,
Zach.
because we are very ill prepared. We have a week to
I mean,
come
I
up
had
with
my
topics.
topic.
Yeah, I had my thought.
Okay, I didn't have mine. Just
Who's
let me.
ill-prepared?
Weston wasn't here. He threw
He's
us
dead.
off.
He has an excuse.
He
He's
threw
dead.
us off. So, anyways, guys,
Who
thanks
is
for
not
watching. Thanks for now, but a blast as always. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Yeah, peace.